Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Divorce Happens, the podcast where we support you before, during, and after divorce with education, inspiration, and a little bit of laughter. Because as we know, divorce happens and then you start fresh. And we're here with one of our amazing Fresh Starts experts, Nicole. Nicole, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Sure, and thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here. I am the founder of Copilots for Coparents, and we offer group trips and solo travel advice and inspiration for divorced parents. I think that travel is just one of the best things you can do for yourself after divorce for a number of reasons, and we're really excited to help more parents get out and do that.
I love this so much. So when we first came upon you a while ago, before you even joined Fresh Starts, we were like, this is so brilliant, so necessary. And then we're so happy that you're part of our community. So we're just thrilled because this is a really important topic that we don't talk about enough. So, Nicole, my first question for you is like, you mentioned this, but why is travel so important to post divorce life and let that healing process that comes post divorce as well?
So there's a lot of reasons. To me, the sort of most powerful thing about travel is it really takes you out of your everyday patterns and routines. So for me, and this is probably familiar for a lot of folks, um, I just felt like I was in this swirl of divorce, of co-parenting, of some, sometimes negative cycles, unfortunately, and um, I didn't really believe I even was allowed to do something different when I was in my everyday life.
Mm,
Everything had to be focused on that. And travel just instantly takes you completely out of that. You're out of your everyday, you're out of your patterns, and you really get a chance to actually breathe and focus on who am I and what do I want to do next. Sort of, I think travel just has a way of taking you out of that and letting you have that perspective. Obviously, seeing the world, but also seeing yourself in a really different way.
mm.
So that to me is really what it means.
I love that so much. So, for people that are listening that are like, there sometimes is a lot of hesitation, right, around like doing new things, especially post divorce. So they may look for excuses, right? So, for example, I don't have the money to do that, or I'm a single parent. What would you say to that, Nicole?
So, a couple things. So on the, I don't know about trying new things. I don't know if I can do that. That's sort of the reason you should.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be the easiest thing to kind of take that step, but that's part of the reason you need to do it. And to me, even starting, in smaller ways closer to home, if you don't feel ready to take that big step, like go try something new that you're not really comfortable with at home. That's kind of, to me, how I really started getting traction for myself after my divorce, is
Mm,
when I just would go out and do, even if I didn't feel like going to meet the new people, or I didn't go feel like going to the
yeah.
new event or activity, or the new city, right? For travel, if
Yep.
it's travel. And then on the money side, that is absolutely a barrier. Travel is not always cheap. But what I would say to that is, um, there's always a lot more you can do than you think. Um, you know, it doesn't have to be a fancy, extravagant, expensive trip. Um, to me, it doesn't even actually matter that much where you go, even though there's all these
Mm,
amazing places I want to go. It just matters that you go somewhere and do something
yeah.
different that's out of your comfort zone. So, um, you know, there are things for every budget in travel. There really are. You just need to be
Yeah.
flexible and be willing to look for it, and tell yourself, this is something I can do. This is something I want to make a priority.
I love that. And then for parents, right? This is what your jam is. So, tell us more about what you do and your company and how parents can get out there into the world post divorce.
So we do trips actually for parents to go on their own, as well as parents to go with kids, because I think both are really important to do. I think it's good to do a trip both ways. Solo travel on your own gives you kind of a very different kind of growth and space for yourself, but traveling with your kids is also, especially after divorce, when you're making this sort of, new life and new memories and what are our new traditions. It for me at least, it really helped me reconnect with my kids in a different way, face some fears together, do things that scared
I
us and
love
that
it.
were,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
unusual. And, we came back with sort of bonds and memories that you don't get another way. So we really encourage that too. It's hard to travel with kids. It's harder to travel with kids when you're the only adult there.
Yeah.
But it's possible, and you will come home realizing, wow, I could do that. I could do a lot of things I didn't think I could do.
Yeah, I love that message. So specifically, what do you do? How do you help parents? If somebody's listening to this and they were like, I love to travel before my divorce, and I'd love to make these memories by myself and with my kids. How can Nicole help me?
So we plan group trips, like I said, some with kids, some without, and we do all the planning for you. Take that off your plate, take that barrier out of the way. Um, you find the trip you like, you sign up, and everything,
So
pretty
cool.
much everything except your international flight is done for you. Um, the second thing about that is you have a built in set of number one, new friends, and number two, sort of helping hands. And, it takes away that I'm totally doing this on my own.
Right.
Um, there's other adults to talk to, when the kids fall
Yep.
asleep at
Yep.
7:30 and
I
you're
love
going,
that.
I thought this was going to be, amazing, and I'm feeling a little lonely. There's other
Yeah.
kids to play with. There's, just a lot of camaraderie you make, I think, on a trip. That some of the friends I've made traveling, um, it's shocking how fast you can bond with someone that way. So
Yeah.
that's sort of, also the idea is you get these amazing trips. You don't need to plan it, and you also have sort of a built-in community that you create.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing, amazing. It reminds me of the movie with, Adam Sandler, right, and Drew Barrymore, Blended, when they
Yes,
both go to I love
yes.
that movie, it's a very
I actually
underrated
just watched
movie.
that a few weeks ago. That's so funny. Yeah, it's a great
Yeah, it's a
movie.
really sweet movie, yeah, and I just think what a great way, especially for maybe, like, the non-physical custodial parent to spend
Hmm.
quality time with the kids too, right? I just what a great brainchild of a company you have, like, it really is fantastic, and we're so thrilled that you're part of Fresh Starts because it goes hand in hand with having that fresh start, right? Is that fresh start to travel. You maybe, like, you're used like I know for myself, and I'm going to be honest, have not traveled alone with my kids since my divorce because I have ADHD and reading a map and directions is really overwhelming for me. And so, like, being like knowing that I'm like part of a group and like my kids have other kids to be with or whatever, that is so cool. And I do think that the world is not set up for single parents, right? And so, being like, hey, we have this awesome group of, and you can join this community and travel and still make all these memories with your kids or by yourself in a really safe way is just so freaking cool. So we love what you do, Nicole. And if anybody
Yep.
wants to learn more, Nicole is in the Fresh Starts Registry Expert Guide. So you can go to freshstartsregistry.com/experts and she will help you through it all and get you up in the plane and away and all the good stuff. So we love that. Nicole, before we let you go, if somebody is listening to this and they're going through a divorce, what would be some words of wisdom that you could leave them with?
I would say, just say yes. Say yes to
Mhm.
things, um,
Yeah.
even when you don't feel like it, because really in the beginning, a lot of times you're not going to feel like it. Saying yes and going to do it anyway
Yeah.
is what slowly but surely gets you to feel like it again. And
Yeah.
that's really what I would say. Say yes to going to that thing. Say yes to trying something. Say yes to focusing on yourself.
Yeah.
Just say yes to things. Everything
And
you can, and find
I
find
I
what
love that.
really lights you up.
Yeah, I love that. And as you were talking, I actually wanted to mention before we let you go, what about if you're somebody that is very nervous about traveling, maybe just doing like a staycation, right? Like even like one
Mm-hmm.
town over, right? Just for an afternoon, like especially if your
Exactly.
kids are with their other parent and like you have some time, go wander in a new town, right? Just get your like sea legs back again.
Exactly. Go for a
Yeah.
hike. Go
Yeah.
somewhere nearby, even in your hometown. Find an
Yeah.
activity tourists that come to your town do and go do it.
I love that. I love that. Well, you're so positive and encouraging, and we just adore that. So thank you for being part of Fresh Starts, and thank you for all your wise words today, Nicole.
Thank you so much for having me.